I don't like self-help, which is kind of a strange thing to say because if anyone has seen any of my videos, most of my videos can be counted as self-improvement videos. And when I say that I don't like self-help, I'm not against any of the things that they advocate for. Like, I support going to the gym, I support reading a lot of books, I support meditation. Please do more of those things. And if it wasn't for any of the books that I've read over the past few years I've been on self-help, I would not be where I am right now. I've been on self-help for maybe about 4 years-ish, so since I was 16. It was right after I did my O-levels. I thought it was the perfect time to start because when I was 16, life sucked. I almost had no friends and I was deep into a rut and I didn't know what to do with my life. So when someone came along and told me that I could escape the matrix, I thought like, hell yeah, that sounds good, right? But it has been about 4 years-ish, and if I have to be very honest with myself, not much has changed. I mean, sure, I feel better about my body after going to the gym a lot. And yeah, I picked up a good reading habit along the way, and I am still chasing my goals. I have a lot of those. And maybe life is better than it has been. And you know what? I truly admit that life has been great. But it has been that way for about 4 years. And sometimes I still do things like missing my workouts. Sometimes I get too tired to go to the gym. And sometimes I would go through a 4-hour binge of YouTube videos or 4-hour binge of gaming. And every now and again, I still do things that I regret. So when I say that I don't really like self-help, maybe it is just the industry or the name that it has gotten. Because the way that I see it, a lot of people in the self-help space, be it those YouTubers or those that post a lot on social media, there are those who somehow insist that I have to live my life perfectly. It's because like I'm some kind of beta male and that I'm inferior somehow because I'm not as disciplined as they are. And before I go on, I fully recognize that this makes me a hypocrite because even with some of my videos that I've done there, like I've done in the past maybe 2 months, most of the stuff there, it just proves that I do the same things as those people in the industry. So I completely apologize. I will bear my ass for spanking because I deserve it. But I must admit at some point, self-help just comes off as a little toxic. Maybe it is just me, but so many of the creators that I've seen has always given the impression that their life is perfect. They pitch their words as if you follow all your advice, your life will just become... Bro, my phone ran out of storage. Alright, where was I? Shit, what was I talking about? I thought about burying my ass, I forgot. Something along the lines of... Oh yeah, so I have to make 2 points here, right? That for these people in the industry, some of their advice are genuinely really good, and I do follow some of their advice, and they are very applicable. And there are also some exceptions to this, like one of my favorites being Mark Manson. But to me, that portrayal that you have your whole life together, you have your shit together, that sets a very unrealistic expectation. Sets an unrealistic expectation on all of us plebs just trying to survive till tomorrow. Like, there's this expectation to somehow be perfect or to min-max your life, optimize it down to the very second, like some Final Fantasy 14 boss fight. That is, at least to me, a toxic expectation to me. Because life can be pretty damn shitty, right? And the hard truth is that I can't do it all or know it all 365 days a year. There are days where I genuinely hit a wall and I can't pull myself up. Like, I still miss gym days every now and again. I still go on a 4-hour YouTube binge every now and again, even though I've been on the self-help space for the past like 4 to 5 years. And of course, the counter argument is that maybe I'm just a blue-pilled, undisciplined beta male that cannot pull his shit together. And that is also quite dangerous. Like, I don't believe that shit. The way I see it, there's 2 categories of people, right? there's the first category of people who has been in the self-help space for maybe the past few weeks or few months or maybe 1 year, and they're still in that stage where they're still trying to keep and put their lives together. And then there's the second category of people who has been in the space for 5 years or even more than that, and they have been successful with it. But that is where I see a very big danger. The way I see it, if you are successful with self-help, you have to watch out. Because if your lack of discipline and your lack of motivation doesn't pull you down, it will be your pride that screws you over. I've heard so many times that when people get on self-help, they always say that they lose all their friends, or even if, I don't know man, like they lose all their friends, or as a result their life has changed and they've become more lonely. Even I had that phase, right? And my original explanation was that maybe I've just grown too different from my friends, and as a result they don't just gel well with me anymore. But now, after a lot of reflection, and maybe that's why this video took so long, was that I have to admit that more likely than not, it might not be because I have different goals or different expectations, even though that might be part of it. But I believe that the primary reason was that I've grown to become an insensitive prick. And unconsciously, I might have thought that just because I have been going to the gym regularly, or suddenly all my friends who don't go to the gym are somehow inferior, or those who tell me that they don't have the attention span to read books, sometimes I might unconsciously think that I'm just like, man, I'm fumbling. Somehow I might have unconsciously thought that perhaps because of that I'm better. And though I may not represent the good part of the industry, that mindset that somehow people are shittier than you might just lead you to start a YouTube channel and tell everybody how they should live their lives. But the thing is, I don't want to be like that. When I first started this channel, that's not what I wanted to be. I wanted to genuinely help people. But the more I started to do videos, the more it sounded like I was preaching. The more it sounded like I was just this guy on a high horse trying to tell people how they should live their lives. The last thing I want is to prop myself up on this pedestal, feeling like I'm better than everybody just because I got onto self-help and they didn't. And that's probably why the industry gets such a bad rap, right? Because I'm listening to this random 18-year-old tell me to get my shit together and telling me that my friends don't matter, or that if I don't go to the gym 9 days a week, all my problems will disappear. Sorry, I'm distracted by somebody at the back. They're taking pictures of like squirrels. Alright, anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I have to make it very clear. I'm not name calling, and I am not intentionally trying to cause some bad blood. This is just my observation, and if anything, I'm guilty of all of this, and I'm just, I don't know, shitting with myself, I guess. But the truth of the matter is, everyone in the self-help industry, including myself, we have no clue what we are doing. I have no idea what I'm talking about sometimes. If I look back at the videos that I've made 2 months ago, I might have disagreed with myself now. And so, yeah, that's it. I'm graduating from self-help. And I guess I have to make that clear distinction that I'm saying that I'm graduating and not quitting. Because the truth is there is still a lot of value in self-help. Self-help is very useful, especially if you're somebody who is stuck in a rut, who is stuck at the lows of lows, and you need to do something to fix your life. And the way I see it, it only becomes toxic or useless if you stay with it your entire life. So what I mean by that? What do I mean by that? The way I see it, I see self-help as something like high school, right? You study and you get smarter at a few subjects, and then you are done. If you stay in high school your entire life, you don't get smarter, you just be as smart as you are now. It's only when you graduate and you move on to college or university do you actually start to get better at what you already are good at. And that's exactly why after 4 years of being on self-help, I can confidently say that whatever you watch or whatever you read, after 10 videos or 10 books, the advice is all the same. Like, it is good advice the first time you hear it, but by the 10th time it is nagging. But if I say that self-help is like high school, then what is the college or the university version of self-help? Well, the way I see it, it requires you to rebrand the term, to rebrand what it means to self-improve. If you over obsess as I have on self-improvement, you'll become selfish and self-entitled. Especially if you just focus on like building your own pedestal, focus on achieving your goals, and you disregard everything else. If you disregard everything else, you even disregard your character, and that's the big danger. You'll be too focused on serving yourself, you'll be too focused on building your own pedestal. You'll be too focused on optimizing your progress and not notice that everything else in your life is not as it should be. And at the end of the day, the hard truth is that if you become this self-entitled, arrogant, egoistical person, nobody likes to be your friend. Nobody could trust you to help them with their dreams. Nobody will even see you as a human being because you live life like you are some kind of machine just trying to optimize everything in your life. There are NPCs who is going through life on easy mode, but there are also NPCs who are living in hardcore, believing that they are playing the game better than anyone else. But in reality, it's all the same game. We all only have one life. And my great fear is that the next time that I see somebody who's stuck in a rut, I just have this natural instinct to tell them, oh, it is because you have not been going to the gym, or tell them dismissively like, oh, go touch grass, bro, and like chug my protein shake. Like, holy shit, man, I would actually jump off a bridge if this is how people saw me, acting all entitled to my own progress. But I'm just like everyone else, man. There was once where I would play games for 8 hours a day. There was once where I was a skinny legend and I could not leave a carton of milk. And that just makes me look like a hypocrite, right? Treating them like somehow they are lower than me just because I am drunk on the piss of the gods called self-improvement. And so my conclusion is that to graduate from self-help, I have to remove the self from the self-improvement. I'm not just hyper-focused on improving myself. That is no longer my objective. I want to improve myself so that I can improve others. I go to the gym because I want my friends to take their health seriously. I read books so that I can understand people. And holy shit, this rain is getting in the way. What else? Oh yeah. I just do all of these things because the way I see it, if I better myself, I can better other people. So I've come to the conclusion that self-help should not be about yourself. Because if I believe that it was all about myself, I become selfish, narcissistic, self-entitled, and in fact, maybe I've become all three of these things, and that's why I don't know, confessing my sins. I don't know, man. So, self-improvement, in my opinion, is like a low to mid-level form of improving your life. It is good if you are in the shittiest or shit piles that has ever shit, but it becomes useless when you go beyond that. And to me, the university level of self-help is going beyond yourself. Instead of just supporting your own growth and progress, you support other people. And when I say this, I don't mean saying some flowery words on the internet. No, what I want to do is to make the dreams of my friends come true. I want people to be proud to call me someone they value. I don't want to be some kind of judge telling people what they should and should not do. I want to be human. As much as I want to be successful and I want to be happy, I want other people to be successful too. And I want them to be happy. I want them to live life to the fullest and yet slow down every once in a while and take it easy every now and again. I don't need somebody on the internet to give me some punishing words just for, I don't know, losing focus every now and again, for not having as much discipline as they are. Because in truth, I'm just trying my best, man. Yeah, maybe that should be the motto of self-improvement. We are all just trying our best. Yeah, I just needed to get that out of my chest. Again, I have graduated from self-improvement. And if you agree with me, I think that you need to graduate too. And if so, happy graduation in advance. That's all for me. See ya. Damn, this is some good weather.